The NBA Wednesday, time to talk playoff basketball right here on Fast Break Bets with Erik from ETOF21 Sports. I'm Gino Bacola, and we are going to be taking a look at the lines over at DRF Sportsbook. Remember, if you are anywhere in Iowa and you want to play along as we discuss these sports, if you want to get some action, DRF Sportsbook, that is the place to play. And you can use our promo code FAST1000 if you sign up now in Iowa, and you can get a $1,000 deposit match with the promo code FAST1000. They'll be opening up to different states very soon, and we'll be along the ride with them over at DRF Sportsbook. But Erik, 4 games to discuss tonight. We'll also talk about Thrive Fantasy. You and I were 5 for 5 on our Thrive plays last night. Your little parlay hit, so I don't have to send you any hate tweets. So thank you. You turned my dollar into $3.20. The parlay I gave out hit, so a good night on Thrive. But as you mentioned when we previewed all 3 games yesterday, it just seemed too easy that all 3 of these heavy favorites were going to win straight up. You know, people were out there parlaying all 3 heavy favorites at home, all 3 in closeout situations. Honestly, all 3 of those teams could have lost.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. Since game 1, I've been saying that Capella should only be playing 20 minutes. Took Quinn 4 games and 4.5 games, 4 games, whatever, to figure out, hey, I shouldn't be playing Clint Capella this many minutes. Went with Okawu, and they played great. Trey hit some big shots, obviously, and I'm not the biggest Trey Young guy, but I will give him credit with a couple things. We've seen all these interaction between players and fans. He gets it a lot. And he doesn't do anything with his fans. You know what I mean? Never seen him go up after everybody, never seen him get in anyone's face, never has really any altercations. You can say what you want about him, but I will definitely give him credit on that, because there's a time they're chanting F you Trey Young to him. And he delivered. They played a little small. There's some pressure on, Boston right now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Game 6.
Yeah, because when a few years ago when they beat the Knicks and they went on to that Eastern Conference Finals run, he came out after in WWE at MSG and was like, going to the crowd. It was great, but like in a fun way, like not in like a really like he would talk fun trash, right? Like he was having fun with it and the crowd was having fun. You could tell they like to play with him and go back and forth. So, he had a good night last night. Was able to catch the Bogdanovich over 15.5. He landed on 18. He had, and you know what? In the last 6 minutes of the game, I don't think anybody besides Trey took a shot. I think it was Trey.
No movement whatsoever. It was just pure Trey.
They got lucky. He hit a couple of them. But you can't do that all game, right? But like we said, now the pressure is back on Boston because Philly's just sitting there waiting. And now Atlanta is going home. They're getting Murray back, who's probably going to be really motivated for that game tomorrow. It's going to be the only Thursday game tomorrow. And you just gave a team that was completely done another chance. It almost every time this happens, that at least comes back to bite you for one game, right? Like I think Atlanta's going to come back and play really well tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they're going to be pissed off. I think that place is going to be rocking. There was a weird thing that he put out. God is real. The devil is a lie. Tried to cheat, suspend me. We back at the A. That was an interesting little tweet from him. But should be a good game. Obviously leave it to the one guy I can't stand, Trey Young, to screw me out of having a day off for the NFL draft. But good games. I was a little shocked by how slow the Nuggets came out of the gate. I expected that to be a little bit raucous. I was lucky enough. I was able to hit him for a nice plus 160 for the first half money line, plus 1.5 for the first half, and I got a little minus 2.5 for the game. So I was able
really,
to
Erik, not to interrupt. But really, all three of the home teams that were up 3-1, they all came out flat.
Yeah, they all came out insanely flat. Clippers played great. We thought that was going to be the competitive game, and it was. They just didn't have enough at the end of the day. Turns out Kawhi has a torn meniscus. They just released that earlier this morning.
Did you see what Stephen A. Smith said about him today?
No, Stephen A.'s got me blocked, so I really don't.
Yeah, no, Stephen A. is obviously someone who you have back. You may like or not like what he says. A lot of times he's like a hot take guy to get clicks. But he went on like a 5-minute little monologue today, and he said, "Steve Ballmer, you got to force Kawhi to retire right now." He said, and he wasn't, and what he said, I'm not calling Kawhi soft, and I'm not saying he isn't really hurt. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. He said that from the people that he speaks with in the organization that he knows, like Kawhi doesn't even walk normal when he's not playing basketball. Like he has a noticeable limp. He looks like a guy that's like seriously injured, and it's so hard for Lou to know what to do, the communication between the team. He's saying, Kawhi, thank you. You've done everything that you can, but look, we got to go in a different direction here. And I don't even know if he's completely wrong, right? Like, I don't like what he says all the time, but he wasn't trying to say, Kawhi, you got to be out there playing. He was saying, look, if this guy has this type of injury to where he has to miss every other game, he has to miss weeks at a time, and then when you really need him, he's not there. This isn't like when we see Paul George or Anthony Davis or John Morant, when you see them get hurt, right? Like you see them fall and land on their hip, you know why they're hurt. It's a little different with Kawhi, and it's kind of scary because we don't really see the injuries.
It's always scary when you don't see the injuries. You don't know what these guys are going through on a day in, day out basis. And the human body, with how big and muscular these guys are, it's not made to withstand that pounding. That's why we see these guys and their bodies eventually start to break down when they get later in their careers.
Yeah, and it's a bummer. So I'm a Lakers fan, obviously, and I give a lot of crap to the Clippers and the Clippers fans, especially the last couple of years. Man, I would be frustrated but proud at the same time. It's like we all, as fans of teams, we try to have like reasonable expectations, right? Like, I don't get mad when the teams I root for are bad and they lose. You know they're going to lose, right? Like, you don't get as mad. You get mad when there are games that you should have won that you lose, right? With teams
those are the games that you get upset. The games when they should win the game and they end up losing.
In the last 4 years for the Clippers now, you had Kawhi and Paul George. This was supposed to be the time that you broke through, and you still haven't been able to do that. And now you're in a situation where, again, we all give Paul George crap, but we heard this guy was rehabbing like twice a day. He was going to be ready next week if the Clippers made it a week more. Like, he was trying to get back. We never hear anything about Kawhi's progress, what exactly happened. He's just out, and then it's just out indefinitely. And now, like you said, 3 days later, it's a meniscus thing. Like, what?
Yeah, and that's something you can't see. I mean, I've torn my meniscus. It's something that just kind of happens and you don't know about it. So unfortunately, that's what it is. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Clippers and, what they look to do moving forward.
And then we had, as you mentioned, Memphis, or we had Minnesota and Denver. Man, Ant, he tried to carry them again last night. His shooting wasn't great. Like, he was like 0 for 6 from 3. But in watching that series, it did show me two things. Nobody right now is incredible or unbeatable or has no weaknesses. Every single team.
This is completely wide open. I mean, there's no such a sense of urgency. And let's be honest, like, any team can make a run. Anyone is possible to make a run. It's completely wide open. There could be some fluky things that happen, but it's an NBA playoffs. That's what we're here for. The Cavs could put it together, come back, beat the Knicks, and then they get a banged up Miami team.
And we have 4 games tonight, Erik.
Yep.
4 games tonight that we're talking about. I got 2.5. It looks like you got a little bit better number than that, though, on the Cavs first quarter, but we're both on the first quarter of the Cavs, and we're both on the first half of the Cavs tonight. Just feeling like this is it. They're home,
and like
down 3-1.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and sorry not to interrupt, I don't know if they're the better team, but in these situations where I don't know if a team is better, I'll play them first half. Because I feel like they'll give them all the energy, right? And then maybe late in the game, they don't execute quite as well down the stretch. But I think energy-wise, they're going to have to be at a level that the Knicks, I'm hoping that the Knicks can't really compete with early in the game.
And RJ Barrett has been great. RJ Barrett really struggles on the road, so I'm looking for him to go back into regression, shooting regression. Randall, obviously not 100%. He's still struggling. I think Donovan Mitchell is going to look to establish himself early and often, looking to get to the rim. And also, let's face it, the Knicks playing well? Yeah. But their Cavs missing a lot of wide open shots. They are. I expect those shots to start falling at home.
And their coaching staff, they haven't made some they haven't tried to make enough adjustments, right? I don't think they've been put in great spots to succeed. And Mitchell had one of those games where he said, man, I was really bad. I'm going to come back and play well. I'm playing today, Erik. Mitchell to score 30. Mitchell to score 35 is plus 260.
Do the 40. Do the 40, Gino. Do the 40.
Yeah, right? Let's just jump up one more. I know. You might as well, because I could see this being a game where Cleveland wins by 15, and then in game 6, the Knicks just come back and beat them because they're better. Right?
Yeah, but on the flip side, though, I'm really playing because I'm afraid about the adjustment that Tibbs can make.
Yeah,
thus,
mid-game.
That's why I'm only doing the first
half.
quarter and the half,
first half.
Because
me too.
Tibbs is showing that he's coaching circles around Bickerstaff right now. So that's why I'm only doing those two and not the full game.
Yeah, I am nervous that, I just do think the Knicks are the better team. And what we see in these series is they just may have a few too many guys, I think, for this Cavs team who's not very deep, right? We see that, they don't have as many options to go to. If the Cavs win by 20 today, won't shock me at all. But Erik and I are both going to try to play the first quarter, the first half, because we just don't trust them late. Brunson's been so good down the stretch. Tibbs is a guy who I trust making some adjustments better than what we've seen from Bickerstaff so far. So we'll roll Cavs first quarter, Cavs first half. I'm rolling Mitchell to score 30 and Mitchell 35. And I'm going to sprinkle on 40 just for Erik also, just in case that happens. Okay, Erik. Absolutely, man. Hey, Erik.
550 for 40.
550 for 40, Erik. You won me 2.2 times my money last night, so you did not steer me wrong. I'm going to go right back with you one more time. Okay, buddy. Anything else to mention about Game 1 Knicks Cavs?
Nope.
Okay, let's go to Game 2, Lakers and Memphis. Awesome game the other night from the Lakers in overtime, able to steal that one. Erik got just destroyed late on that line. Probably one of the worst beats so far of the playoffs, where they fouled with 0.3 seconds, and why the ref even called the foul, and Reeves goes over and nails both of them. But Erik, this is a game where I'm going to play it kind of like I played the Cavs game. I know you're sort of going to do similar. You're going to play a little bit more than me. I'm actually going Memphis first quarter, because I think at the very least, Memphis has to come out with a punch in the mouth. You mentioned that overall, Memphis has been one of the better first quarter teams this year, and everything's on the line for them. They're down 3-1. They're at home. Got to come out with the first quarter. So I'm going first quarter. I am a little worried that, we've just talked about with the Knicks and the Cavs, this just may be a bad matchup right now for Memphis with the Lakers. It just might be. They may have caught a team that has a couple extra guys. So I'm okay with the first half like you are. You're going to play Memphis the whole game. I am, as a Laker fan, I'm not expecting to win tonight. I would love to be able to steal a game, but honestly, I'd rather lose by 20 than get beat in a close game as a Laker fan tonight. I would. I'd rather it just be one of those games where you're not close and you just get beat and you just come back for game 6 ready to rock and roll. So I'm not if Memphis is up 15 early, it's not going to shock me.
Shot quality graded that game as a Memphis win. Memphis, I'm on the first half. They're the best first half team in the NBA, hitting at 64%, covering the number. And I'll say it, I think their issue has been offensively. I think defensively, I think this has been a pretty good series.
Yeah, they have. They've been very good
in general with what they had to do. If we could see a couple more shots get down, maybe we'll see some more Luke Kennard minutes. That way he could stretch the floor. And the one thing that has really stood out to me, even though they're down 3-1, Ja is able to get to the rim. If he's able to get to the rim,
get into that paint area, right?
Yeah. He's able to get to the basket. I look for them to push. And like in my eyes, this is just like we talked about it, how that
Spots.
Game 3 was the spot to fade the Grizzlies. I just feel this is the perfect spot to fade Memphis. But
to fade the Lakers. To fade the Lakers.
Excuse me. But you have LeBron James on the other side. That's why I didn't go with a try. I almost went with a try here, but then part of me sits back and goes, look, you have LeBron there. LeBron may just tell those guys, because he is one of the greatest leader probably in the history of basketball that can rally these guys and get them to play. Maybe LeBron's like, look, guys, I need my body rested. We're just going to end it here. Maybe he just has a superhuman effort. So, that's why I only played it, because I'm going to be able to tell in the first quarter what's going on. In the first quarter, I'm going to sit back. If I see what I see from the Lakers, I'm going to immediately buy out of all my Memphis bets, and I'll look to take the Lakers live. So that's why I only did the half and the game, because I really feel in the first quarter we're going to be able to sense what we're going to get from the Lakers, if that makes sense. But this is the spot to play Memphis, so I have to do it.
So it's funny because I'm sure you do the same thing with your Lions and your Bucks. And it's like you listen, you follow more beat writers, right? And like you listen to more local stuff about the teams that you root for, most of the time. In fact, that's actually a smart thing to do just overall as a gambler, like to follow and for fantasy purposes and stuff too, right? Follow the beat writers because you can get lots of like little tidbits that you may not get from national coverage of teams, and Mike Trudell does a fantastic job covering the Lakers. He's a really cool guy. He's the sideline reporter for the Lakers. And he was talking about how, like, these guys on the Lakers right now, it's funny. In particular, like, the Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo, like, those guys, they are such, like, they love LeBron so much, they don't want to disappoint him. And he said that, LeBron said at when they went to Memphis, okay, guys, we're taking 2, we're stealing 2 and coming home. And so they won the first game. And then after game 2 in the locker room, the whole team was just dejected. They were down. And Trudell said that LeBron walked in and he told them all, hey, look, we got 1 or 2. It's so like they were disappointed. Like they felt they let LeBron down. And then he came back to LA and said, we're going to win 2 right now. Don't worry about it. We're going to take our 2 back. And then Austin said something like, now we feel like we have another chance to make it up to him. It's really funny. It's sort of like your big brother like that, and
they really look up to him and they're going to play for him.
Austin Reeves said something too, which was so cool. And I'm sure you as a basketball fan just love it. It gives me goosebumps. Said like after the game, LeBron said that Austin Reeves was telling him like, this is the greatest moment of my life so far. Like, this is the best experience I've ever had playing basketball or playing sports. He said, I love playoff basketball. He's just like yelling it, like it's so cool after a game to see someone experiencing this for the first time. And like D'Angelo Russell, the same thing. There's always these cool clips in the background when like D'Angelo throws a pass to LeBron and then LeBron goes up and slams it or like hits a shot. D'Angelo will like jump up in the air. He's excited. Yeah. He's on the court with LeBron James. He's a fan. Like these guys are fans.
They look up. Yeah,
they do. And like you said, I think we'll know. And you know what, Eric? For the exact reasons that you said. Again, I'll reference Mike Trudell. He made a great point that it can also have a backwards effect because think about it. LeBron is now 38 years old, right? He's been in the league for 20 years. He's been here forever. LeBron has to try to rest a little bit, take some plays off a little bit throughout the game, right? LeBron can't keep up that energy the whole game. Nope. Very few players can, but we wouldn't expect LeBron to be able to do that at this age level anymore. What ends up happening sometimes is when the guys around see LeBron sort of take his foot off the gas for a second, a lot of the other guys do too. It becomes contagious. And when he's the other way, when he starts the game just amped up, it was like what happened the other night. It's 35-9.
Yeah.
They feed off of him so much that they got to be careful because, like, it is one of those things where, hey, LeBron can do that for a minute or two, right? LeBron can take a play or two off. Austin and D'Angelo, you guys can't do that, right? You guys have to keep your tempo up the whole time. It's a really cool dynamic. The only other play I have here, Erik, because win or lose, I've talked about it. He's a real bounce back Jekyll and Hyde guy. Man, this dude is the number one defensive rated player in the based on defensive rating in the playoffs so far. In 4 games, he has 19 blocks. The record in 4 playoff games is 23 for Hakeem Olajuwon. He has 19 blocks in 4 games. And if you heard the way he's being talked about, you would think he's averaging like 5 points and 2 rebounds in this series. He's literally getting talked about like he's done nothing. I think win or lose, tonight will be a big AD game. I think what the Lakers would love to do is if you can establish him early, you can kind of get a slower tempo to the game, right? And like you can maybe slow things down, less possessions, not necessarily Memphis going up and down on you in transition. If you get it to AD, establish it, let him take a second to either get a shot, make a pass. So I'm going AD over the 36.5 points and rebounds. Erik's got Memphis on the first half. Memphis on the first quarter is also my play. So a couple plays for us. Erik's got Memphis game and half. I've got first quarter. So we do have all 3 there. I'm first quarter. Erik's got -2 for the half, -4 for the full game there on Memphis. Anything else you want to mention on Lakers-Memphis today, buddy?
Nope.
Let's get to game 3 of our 4-game slate. We've got Miami. We've got Milwaukee. Your Milwaukee Bucks are down 3-1. Number 1 seed. Best record in the NBA. I honestly think if most serious NBA fans, bettors, analysts were asked just 1 week ago, gun to your head, you can only pick one team. Doesn't matter about price, odds, value. Who is winning the title? Who are you the most confident in? I think almost everybody would have picked the Bucks with a healthy team.
You know, it's amazing how stuff can change. I talked to someone who's pretty in the know there. He said direct from his mouth, he goes, Giannis has not really been happy this year, even with them winning, with the outlook of the team. And he wanted to play game 2. He was adamant he wanted to play game 2. Milwaukee held him out game 2, held him out game 3 because he thought it was best for their long-term success to hold him out. And now it's biting him in the ass, and they're in some serious danger of going back. Drew Holiday's looking old. Lopez is old, getting up there. You know, they've had a nice little run these last couple years, being one of the better teams in the NBA. They got 1 title, and like we're seeing, it's hard to win a title, but this could kind of be the end of this little crew together, and they could blow it up because they need to keep Giannis happy. I mean, that's your bottom line, is you have to keep Giannis happy. The stat that really stood out to me in this is on contested threes for the game for the series, Miami's shooting 52%. There's nothing you can do there.
I know.
You know, and they're just caught it. They're making some threes. It really stood out to me, and I went on a big rant last night on my live stream about these coaches. I don't understand why Bud isn't blitzing. Why is he still going under the screen and dropping Lopez, Portis, whoever in the pick and roll? You can't do that when Butler's feeling it like that. It just makes 0 sense. So that's kind of like my one play in this game.
Saw Denver did that last night, Denver did that last night against Edwards.
Yeah.
Edwards had 24 through the first 3 quarters last night. He had 30-point games in like back-to-back games against them. He was the guy that kept getting into the paint, and then in the fourth quarter, They took the ball out of his hands. They made him a passer. They forced like Towns and other guys, and that's what you have to do. You have to make like Kevin Love. You have to make Bam. You have to make Gabe Vincent. Like those guys have to beat you. Like plain and simple. I didn't know what to play. Eric, I mean, I think Milwaukee's going to come out with, and like I really do think Milwaukee's going to win by like 20 tonight. If I was going to play one of their other lines, I would play something like that. But the only thing I found like a number that was okay enough was first quarter -4.5. Because even if you bet the first half, that's 7.5. And then we get up past 12. Like that's a big number where they could be winning.
They're big
easily,
numbers, and there could be like the bench players, and you don't really know. My play in this game, and I could be drinking bleach with this play.
No, you have to do this though. I
did Jimmy Butler under 29.5 points.
Yeah,
I just looked at it. After scoring 35 points or more in the playoffs, he's only gone over 29.5 points once, and that was last year in Boston. Only once. And in those games, there's been 11 of them, he's only averaging 22 points. So historically speaking, after a game, after a big game, he's kind of, you know what I mean? He hasn't performed as well. He's playing 40-plus minutes. You have to figure he's tired. And Butler's kind of done this in the past where, because he has to do so much, let's say Milwaukee does come out and they're up by 14, 16 in the second quarter. Butler knows it's going to take heroic efforts from him. He could just kind of mail it. You know what I mean? Like he could kind of take his foot off the gas like LeBron could do if the Lakers get down. So I'm going to play the Butler under 29.5. As a gambler, you just have to do it after, setting a career high and a franchise record high in a scoring effort.
Okay, Eric, I'm just going to go back to Sacramento again one more time. I feel like, man, that game, I was thinking about it. Could that game have crushed them the other day? Yes, absolutely, right? The thing is, it wasn't as if they were up late and then spit the game out. They had a chance to take advantage of a mistake that Golden State made, right? Because if Curry doesn't call that timeout, Sacramento doesn't even have a chance late in the game. The reason why they had a chance was because Curry made a mistake. They hit the free throw, then he hit a three, and then Curry took a really bad shot.
Really early. Really
early in the shot clock, and it gave him a chance. So you felt like, damn, Harrison Barnes, he's going to be able to hit this three, and it's going to be this perfect, like, karma.
The most poetic thing for Barnes to hit the three.
It would have been beautiful. End of the day, like, I don't know if you saw his response after the game to it.
Nothing but class.
And I feel better about their team because of that.
Yeah.
Because of how he responded and was like, I've had a lot worse things happen. I'm going to miss shots like that again. I've made some like that again. And you know what? And it was so awesome. Like I couldn't even do that. I couldn't pretend that I would do that. It was incredible.
Nothing but class.
And I almost wonder now, Eric, because it almost feels like the loss was a few days ago. And then in the last day and a half, we've been more talking about De'Aaron Fox. Is he going to play? And now he is going to play. So now it's almost like they're getting a boost because he's going to play. We weren't sure if he was. This Warriors team was 11-31 on the road. This team, they lost at the end of the year to Denver playing without Jokic, to Oklahoma City teams sitting a ton of their guys. They lost to bad undermanned teams on the road. We see them play at home, and we kind of forget that. And they got the pick-me-up. Like, sorry, I keep interrupting you. Both games 3 and 4, it was like Draymond was out, and it was their game going home for Golden State. So they had like this us against the world. We're down 0-2, no Draymond. And then in game 4, they got the pick-me-up from Draymond coming back, and he had this crazy energy. He was actually trying to be aggressive offensively. He looked bad, but he still got us over some of those numbers. I think this is going to be sort of like a comeback down moment. And I wonder if Sacramento is almost too young to realize that, oh crap, we were up 2-0 and maybe we spit it out. Like I don't know if they realize where they are yet.
My thing with Sacramento, and look, you're right. I don't know if they're going to realize how Sacramento is going to react, what exactly Fox is going to be able to do with this finger issue he has going on. Also, I looked at it. Like, I know what the Warriors were on the road, but then I started looking into some trends. With the Kerr regime, I'll call it, with this unit, they have yet to lose a game 2-2 on the road, a game 5.
I think it 23 series in a row they've won a road game?
Yeah. So, no, they've been in this spot, I believe it's 8 times, and that's small sample size, I know, on the road for game 5, and it's been 2-2, never lost this game.
And I think I saw a stat that said for over 20 consecutive series, they've won a road game. I want to confirm on that one, so that's the thing. Right now, we know with them, they're going to have to win one, right? They're going to have to win one on the road. And I looked, home teams, game 5 that are dogs, Kings are a dog, it was 43% after you round up. It was like 42.6 something. 43% against the number. So, I mean, those little trends backed me off because I really want to take the Kings too. But I backed off. I've been heavily invested in Kings futures to win the series, so I'm going to back off. I'm just going to see how this game plays out. It's 27, dating back to 2013. The Warriors have won at least one road game in 27 straight playoff series. So that is just unbelievable. That you know what? That right there is why we love sports and betting and stuff. Because you know what? Something's got to give, right, yep. Eric? Either that's done or they're done. Like this year, like they got to win a road game here. Let's go Kings. Sacramento on the money line for me, plus the 105. Anything else you want to mention about this game before we talk some Thrive?
No.
Let's talk a little Thrive Fantasy right now. Eric, you and I are loving these props over at Thrive Fantasy. You can go to thrivefantasy.com and you can play in contests that are all sorts of different entry fees. You can play in head-to-head matchups. You can play in contests that have, 100 people or 30 or 50. So not thousands and thousands of other people. But what we really like is the prop lobby. Because when you look at this prop lobby, they're actually giving you a boost, Eric, also, all the way up till the end of today. If you play a 5 prop parlay, you get an extra boost. It's not only 20 times 2, it's 21 times your money. So they're just giving you a little bit extra value to play on a prop parlay today. So I got to at least put a $1 prop parlay in with 5 of ours connecting them. Talk to me about what you're seeing today at Thrive Fantasy.
I got 2. Obviously, I see Butler under 29.5. To me, that just makes most sense. I absolutely have to play that. I think he's really going to come back to reality. I think the Bucks are going to make a concerted effort. I think the Bucks are going to roll in the game. So I think we're not going to even see him play that traditional 40 minutes.
It would be great for Miami. If they're down 25, you better take him out of the game and make sure he's rested because you just need one more big performance from him in 6 or 7.
Yeah. And then I looked at Giannis's elimination games. That was my thing. I looked at Giannis Antetokounmpo's elimination games. He has been in 8 of them. One of them was that game against Miami in the bubble. I'm not even going to count that game. In those games, elimination games, he's averaging 29, 13, and 5. But if we just look at his last 3 elimination games, he had his points, rebounds, assists. He had 50, 58, and 54. Last year against the Celtics, 25 points, 20 rebounds, 9 assists. A couple years ago against the Nets, 40, 13, and 5. Against the Nets the game before, he had 30, 17, and 3. I have to play the over here just because we've seen Giannis in these situations back against the wall. He really goes after it. I know it's an insanely high number at 49.5, but you have to play it in my eyes. You have to take Giannis over the 49.5 points, rebounds, assists.
Giannis, let's see. Where else am I going to go? Do we have Mitchell's? The Mitchell ones were only, I was looking at earlier. Okay, there's Mitchell, points and assist, 34. We'll get that one in for Mitchell. Let's see what we got for AD. Points, rebounds, assists for AD. And then I need one more. Okay, Eric. So we got your 2 of Butler, Giannis in. I got AD and Mitchell. I need one more to get to the 5 so we can take advantage of the boost. Let's see. Do we go to let's see, someone on Memphis? Who possibly for Memphis? Or we could go Knicks, Memphis. We could go Warriors, Kings.
Why don't you play the under of Draymond? What's Draymond?
Yeah,
at?
that's a good idea. Let's look at Draymond, just so we can take advantage of that additional boost they've got. 22.5 points, rebounds, assists, 15.5 points and rebounds. Let's see if we get a Draymond just scoring anything out here. Because I agree with you. I think 13.5 rebounds and assists. No. Let's go Draymond under. Where is his points one? The one with the points. Rebounds and assists. Let's go Draymond. We'll go under the 22.5 total for Draymond. So we got our 5-player parlay, and they're giving it the boost. You can see just for $10, this thing would pay back $210.
Ooh.
So nothing wrong with that. We are in, Eric. Remember, folks, when you go to Thrive Fantasy, use that promo code GINO when you deposit. Make sure you deposit anywhere from $25 to $250, and it'll give you a match deposit bonus up to $250. Once again, reminding you that if you are in the state of Iowa, you need to sign up right now for DRF Sportsbook. Make sure to play along and use our promo code FAST1000. You can get up to $1,000 deposit match over at DRF Sportsbook. So, Eric, I know you're traveling tomorrow. There's only one game. If you can't make it, I can just preview that one for tomorrow because it's Boston, Atlanta. So you let me know. And if I just need to do a little shorter show to preview for tomorrow, that's no problem because I know you're going to have a busy few days coming up. And if you can, we'll make sure that everybody follows along. If you can just post any of your plays on social media, right? Just let us know.
I mean, I'll tell you right away. Capella, points, rebounds, assists, under, lock it in. Doesn't matter what it is.
And I'm gonna go Hawks first half for sure in this game because I think they're gonna come out firing and excited. I worry that Boston might just be a little too good and be able to wear them down, especially because Boston just lost a little focus there late in that game. But we'll see if there are any other player props, and we'll have more for you tomorrow on that Celtics-Atlanta game. We don't really know what the schedule is going to be like following that because it all depends on what happens today, right?
Yep, there's a lot of questions.
3 games that could all be 3 series that could all be closed out today. But remember, anytime there is an NBA game, there will be an addition of fast break bets with myself, with Eric, with some combination of us. Maybe we'll have somebody filling in. Eric's going to be doing some fantastic work on the NFL draft this week. So looking forward to following along with that. Good luck to you, buddy, with all your plays. And thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out with us on